If you can get your work life to be where you enjoy half of it, that is a home. That is amazing. No matter how good we are, we can still be better. You can always be better. Customers have a divine discontent, and they teach you if you listen to customers. So we watch for that, and we see patterns, and we can find places where it's not working, something's going wrong. That's really how I get the feedback, is from customer input. And often, in all caps, angry, you ruined my child's birthday because the gift didn't show up on time. And we take that, and what you really want to do is you take that, it's an anecdote.
You need not to feel overconfident or should not fear. You should begin your journey toward a successful life, business, or job with a beginner's mindset. You need to admit that you are a beginner and you'll learn with time. A good leader should be able to work on self-improvement and growth, and that can only be achieved with a beginner's mind. The most successful inventors are highly skilled in a certain field while also maintaining an open mind, and that's challenging. But if you want to invent and pioneer, you must do it. It's extremely unlikely that you, a simple novice, will invent something useful in this vast and profoundly inventive environment. Therefore, you must be a specialist in the most recent technology while yet managing to avoid becoming disillusioned. It takes a lot of practice to become an expert in a new field, but it's important to keep an open mind and remain curious throughout the process so that our final product is unique rather than generic. Not taking action on something you can influence is the primary source of stress. In other words, if you notice that something is giving you stress, that's a warning sign that you haven't identified everything yet. You may be thinking about it, but you haven't taken any action on it yet. Even if the problem isn't solved, you'll begin addressing it as soon as you identify it and make the first phone call, or send the first email, or whatever else you need to do. Having us solve the issue significantly lessens any tension that might arise. When you ignore things that you shouldn't, stress results. People don't become stressed because no one is there. Working hard doesn't cause stress. Using the analogy of working hard and liking it as an analog for what we were just talking about, you know that you can be out of work and anxious, and likewise. If you're out of work but you're taking a methodical approach to find a new job, you'll be less stressed than if you're just thinking about it and doing nothing.
It's a single example, but you need to find the root cause. What went wrong deep inside the system? How did this happen? Because then you can fix it for everyone, so that particular problem will never happen again. You don't just fix the symptom, you have to fix the root cause. And that's been the secret to our operational success for 20 years.
The stress primarily comes from not taking action over something that you can have some control over. If I find that some particular thing is causing me to have stress for me, what it means is there's something that I haven't completely identified, perhaps in my conscious mind. Whatever it is that we're going to do to start to address that situation, even if it's not solved, the mere fact that we're addressing it dramatically reduces any stress that might come from it. So stress comes from ignoring things that you shouldn't be ignoring. Stress doesn't come from hard work, for example. You can be working incredibly hard and loving it, and likewise, you can be out of work and incredibly stressed over that.
Think of the things that you could do, and so the question is, how do you achieve that? The scale is good because it makes you robust. A big boxer can take a punch to the head. The question is, you also want to dodge those punches, so you'd like to be nimble. And I find that there are a lot of things that are protective of the day one mentality. I already spent some time on one of them, which is customer obsession. When you get to be a bigger company, you've got middle managers, and you've got all these layers. And those people aren't on the front lines. They're not interacting with customers every day. They're insulated from customers. And they start to manage not the customer happiness directly, but they start to manage through proxies. One of the things that happens is the decision-making velocity slows down. And I think one of the reasons that happens, all, say, junior executives inside the big company start to model all decisions as if they are heavyweight, irreversible, highly consequential decisions. And so even two-way doors, you make a decision, it's the wrong decision, you can just back through the door and try again. Reversible decisions start to be made with heavyweight processes. You can teach people that these pitfalls and traps, and then teach them to avoid those traps. And that's what we're trying to do at Amazon, so that we can maintain our inventiveness and our kind of small company spirit, even as we have the scale and scope of a larger company.
My view is I don't even like the phrase work-life balance. I think it's misleading. I like the phrase work-life harmony. Energized at work, happy at work, feeling like I'm adding value, part of a team, whatever energizes you, that makes me better at home. It makes me a better husband, better father. If I'm happy at home, it makes me a better employee, a better boss, all the things. It's not primarily about, there may be crunch periods where it's about the number of hours in the week. That's not the real thing. Usually it's about, do you have energy? Is your work depriving you of energy, or is your work generating energy for you? And you know, there are people, everybody in this room knows people who fall into these two camps. You're in a meeting and the person comes in the room. Some people come into the meeting and they add energy to the meeting.